Guess what started happening? My skin was so, I think my moisture barrier was like destroyed, like totally destroyed. My skin was just crying for help. And guess what? I wasn't wearing sunscreen, so my skin was so sensitive. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I was doing my skincare and so forth, and I decided that I wanted to share with you some of the products that didn't work for me, some of the products that worked for me, like throughout my whole journey. I don't really like to say journey, throughout my years, or my early years, or before I started with this new skincare regimen. So first and foremost, when I was in high school, I had not bad acne, but I had acne because I was a teenager. Period. So I had I had a lot of acne on my face. So I went in earlier with, I cleansed my face and so forth, added my serum and my eye cream, and now I'm going in with moisturizer. Didn't show that on camera because I just decided that I wanted to record this. But anyway, that was my skincare at the time. That was my skin at the time when I was in high school. Just regular teenager problems. Acne, oily skin, and so forth. I used to wash my face and so forth, and moisturize. That's pretty much it. I wasn't really treating any acne. I was more like picking my face and doing all type of garbage on my skin. And that was my life at the time. No, when I got over my acne when I was I'm wearing SPF. So yeah, I got over my acne when what was I saying? I got over my acne when I was like 20. I was in college, university. My acne wasn't that bad. The only thing I had was just like whiteheads and a few little blackheads here and there. But my skin was like in good condition. Nothing bad. So I started to wear a lot of makeup when I was like 23, 24, 25. Because, I was in a makeup phase. You know what I'm saying? I was wearing a lot of makeup. Like, I wasn't wearing foundation, but I was wearing a lot of pressed powder, brows, concealer, and so forth. And I was just using soap and apricot scrub and the moisturizer. That's it. No sunscreen, nothing. I wasn't using anything of that sort. I went to live in Mexico, and I was wearing makeup every day. My routine again was just apricot scrub, cleanser, apricot scrub, and a moisturizer. Pretty much it. My skin, it wasn't going through anything bad at the time because it was just looking like the normal me. So now I went to live in Japan now at the time, 2015, and makeup, I was going in with makeup at the time. In 2015, I started with pressed powder and so forth, and then I was like, I want to step it up because I want my face to be like flawless now. So I started using foundation. And that was when everything, like liquid foundation, that was when everything got bad. And my skin didn't like that foundation. And I was wearing excessive makeup at the time too, because I didn't start YouTube at the time though, but I was wearing foundation. And my skin started to change. One, my skin started to get really dry because it needed a lot of moisture. So I started using this scrub. It's called Gatsby. It's a it has like some small little beads in the scrub, and that actually helps to exfoliate. But that scrub, guys, oh my gosh, the scrub is so cooling. Whenever you use it and wash your face, oh my gosh, it always feels cool. And the only reason that I'm not using that is because I have found the glycolic acid, and that's a chemical exfoliant, and it's a little bit better for your skin. I also remember when I was using the Gatsby, and one of the Japanese ladies, I don't remember if it was Kaoru or if it was Misato, but somebody said to me, Jody, you shouldn't be using that on your skin. It's going to tear your skin. It's going to tear your epidermis. Yeah, so she was like, Jody, you shouldn't be using that on your skin, the scrub on your skin, because it's too harsh for the skin, and eventually it's going to tear your skin over a period of time, and that's going to damage your skin. So I'm like, well, it works for me. Maybe it's going to tear your skin because your skin is a little bit sensitive because you're Asian. You have a different type of skin, but I'm black. My skin can manage it. That's what I thought in my head. But anyway, like, whenever I was buying that scrub, I would always remember her voice in my head. I don't remember if it was Kaoru or Misato, but whenever I was buying that scrub, I remember, Jody, you shouldn't buy that scrub because it's going to tear your skin. And I always remember that. Even up to this day, this is the reason why I can talk about it. So sometimes whenever I was going to buy that scrub, I used to buy two of them. I used to buy the pink one. It didn't have any of the scrub, the grainy thing in it. It only had the foaming, it was just like foaming and cleansing to the skin. But sometimes I didn't like that one because it wasn't like, I didn't feel it scrubbing my skin. So in my mind, I'm like, when I'm scrubbing, I think that it's cleaning a little bit better. Well, I mean, yes, it's taking away the dead skin because it's exfoliating the skin, but it's damaging to the skin over a period of time. But anyway, like, fast forward now to, one more thing. I was also using, at the time I was using, so when I used the scrub, I was using coconut oil to moisturize my skin. So my skincare routine was, it wasn't anything to be, crazy about. So I was using coconut oil, and while I think that the coconut oil didn't really do anything bad to my skin, because you know that coconut oil is comedogenic, and anything that is comedogenic is going to clog your pores and cause blackheads, especially for people with oily or acne prone skin. I have acne prone skin. I wasn't like oily at the time. I was like combination. So I was using coconut oil on my skin to moisturize it, on my hair and my body. Was doing a good job. I didn't really experience anything bad like clogging the pores and so forth, because guess what? I wasn't wearing a lot of liquid foundation. I was using pressed powder, but I wasn't really experiencing any of that. Anything like my pores are clogged or anything. I was just getting the regular acne and the regular bumps that I would normally get, and I would have to like treat it with, a lot of exfoliating and so forth. But my skin was just normal because that's how I'm used to my skin. It wasn't like perfect. Had a little acne sometimes, whitehead hair, that just the normal thing that would happen to your skin. Well, that's what I thought. So fast forward now to 2017, my skin, because I started wearing a lot of liquid foundation, my skin was a mess. Okay, because I was wearing a lot of liquid foundation, pressed powder and so forth, but guess what? I wasn't cleaning my skin. My skin wasn't, I was just using like water, soap, washing my face, and then moisturizer. But I think that my skin wasn't being proper. My skin was not properly cleansed. Okay? Yeah. So how I knew my skin wasn't cleansed was when I started to use glycolic acid. And I used the glycolic acid, and after washing my face and cleansing it, I used the glycolic acid, and I realized that a lot of dirt was on my skin. So I was like shocked. I'm like, Oh my gosh, so you mean that all along my skin wasn't cleansed? And this is the reason why I had acne. And that was the reason why I had acne like in 2017. And it was just, I had so much bumps and so forth on my skin. And I was also getting hyperpigmentation. And I was like confused. I'm like, what is going on? My skin, I didn't really have these problems. I mean, I used to have like bumps and whiteheads and so forth, but I used to know how to deal with it. So that time I decided like I'm gonna go on a hunt. I'm going to find something that in Japan that actually works. And I went on the internet and I looked on Amazon, and guess what I found? I found Kojic San. Kojic San. Yeah, so I found, and I heard that it's going to brighten the hyperpigmentation and the spots from the acne and so forth, and it's just going to clear your skin. So I'm like, oh yeah, I want Kojic San, and I purchased Kojic San. Kojic San worked. Kojic San worked, but guess what Kojic San did? Kojic San dried out my skin. One, Kojic San made my skin extremely sensitive. Kojic San gave me discoloration on my skin. That was what Kojic San did to me. And whenever I use Kojic San, like if I wash my face like twice, like literally wash it, like rub the soap and rinse it up and wash it twice, my skin would burn. Okay, I was using Kojic San, but in my mind I'm like, well, it's working because I see that some of the little dark spots are going and so forth. But even though my skin was like discolored and I look like a bum, I look sick in my face, you know, I didn't look healthy. My skin was just discolored, even though some of the marks were gone, but it's just discolored and so forth. And I remember I was like, one of my friends, she was like, I want something for my acne. I'm like, girl, you need to get Kojic San. I was even recommending Kojic San to her, even though it was, you know, drying out my skin and so forth, but I thought that it was working. But anyway, so I was using Kojic San, and I repurchased Kojic San like maybe 3 times. 3 came in the pack, and I repurchased it like 3 times because it would last me like 3 months. 1 pack would last me like 3 months, so I'd repurchase it like 3 times. And I repurchased Kojic San. Guess what started happening? My skin was so, I think my moisture barrier was like destroyed, like totally destroyed. My skin was just crying for help. And guess what? I wasn't wearing sunscreen, so you know my skin was so sensitive to the sun, so I had hyperpigmentation central. And then guess what? Because my moisture barrier was destroyed, I started getting acne. And I was like, but what am I doing wrong? Kojic San is not working. Maybe Kojic San is not going to be working for, you know, the rest of the time that, so maybe I need to change it out and get something else. So guess what I did? I went ahead, I'm like, okay, I know that Nadinola isn't good, but I'm gonna try Nadinola. And I tried Nadinola. I only used Nadinola for like maybe 3 weeks, because first of all, when I use it, it was just too oily for my skin. And it would just, whenever I go out and I wasn't wearing sunscreen. Can you imagine the harm that I am doing to my skin? And I wasn't wearing sunscreen. So I was like, Nadinola just breaks me out. Like I wasn't going to use it. And then it broke. The bottle that it was in, it broke, and it started to get bad. The color was like dark and so forth. So I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I need something that is, you know, something that people use, that is like recommended by a doctor or something that is approved by like a medical practitioner, or something that everybody uses, that they have experience using and it has been good. So I went on the internet and I heard everybody talking about, oh, Mario Badescu and so forth, and Kylie Jenner was using Mario Badescu spot treatment and so forth. So yes guys, so I was like saying to myself, like, I need something that is recommended, like say by a doctor, something that can work, something that is tested and approved. Yeah, because what I was using were not stuff that were tested and approved, and it wasn't getting the backing from a lot of people. So I was just using and testing out products that were just harmful for my skin, especially not wearing sunscreen. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I went on Beauty Bay, ordered some Mario Badescu. I ordered the Glycolic acid toner, the 5% glycolic acid toner, or was it 2% or 5% glycolic acid toner. I ordered the acne medication. I ordered the what else? The glycolic acid wash, and no, that's all. No moisturizer, no SPF, and so forth. But the difference with that is I bought an SPF. This one I got hooked to this is a Skin Aqua CeraVe SPF 50++. I got hooked to this one, so I purchased this, and it came in like many colors, so it wasn't just this, it was more other SPF. So I purchased a CeraVe Aqua Skin Aqua because I remember they said that make sure that you wear SPF whenever you're going in with glycolic acid and so forth, because it doesn't make sense you use the product and not go in with SPF. You know what I'm saying? To protect your skin. So I was like, okay, I'm ready to use this now. So that's all in my mind. I was like, that's all I'm going to use. I'm going to use something that's going to cleanse my skin, get rid of the brighten my skin and so forth. So acne treatment is supposed to get rid of the acne and so forth. Glycolic acid is supposed to brighten. So I fell in love with salicylic acid and glycolic acid because I read all the information about both of them and what they could do to the skin. Now here's a little story with me and the glycolic acid and the salicylic acid. So I had two cleansers, okay? Two. And I was using a glycolic acid toner. Now you tell me something if I'm not stupid. So I was like a very, very stupid girl at the time. I was using, like on some days I use salicylic acid, and then when I use the salicylic acid wash, I would use the glycolic acid wash to toner to tone. The salicylic acid wash wasn't, what should I say now? It wasn't like foamy. It was like, I don't even know if it was cleaning anything. So whenever I was cleaning my face, it was working, but I'm like, why it's supposed to foam? Because in my mind, like anything that foams, it shows that it's cleaning your skin. But it wasn't foaming, it wasn't doing anything. It was just, washing my face, and when I'm finished washing my face feels like hydrated. But in my mind, I'm like, but hydrated? I don't want my skin to be hydrated. I want it to be squeaky clean. I want to see a squickle on my skin. I wanted that, but I'm like, this is not like cleaning my skin. So I was like, I ordered the glycolic acid wash. When I started using the glycolic acid wash on my face, guys, let me tell you something. I was using the glycolic acid wash and I was using the glycolic acid toner. I tell you, my skin was going through it. I got burned from now till, when I tell you I got burned. In my mind though, I was like, well, I know that when I get burned, it's going to be for the better, because if I get burned, if this product burns me, I know that it's going to give me like the skin is going to strip, and then when the skin strips, it's going to give me new skin. So this is working. So in my mind, I was like, oh, you burn me all you want, because I know that when this is finished, it's going to strip, because my skin was like, I could literally touch my skin. It was like wrinkled. My skin was wrinkled. That's how much the skin was stripping, because it was wrinkled. I could like take my skin and go like this, and it had some wrinkly stuff on it. It was wrinkled, but it was so shiny too, very, very shiny and wrinkled. So I'm like, okay, this skin is going to, eventually fade away, and then the new, fresh, nice, beautiful skin is going to be underneath it. At this time, I wasn't really experiencing a lot of acne. The reason why, because I was using the salicylic acid wash. But guess what? I was over exfoliating my skin, my poor skin, and guess what started happening? I started getting some small like rashes on my skin, like literal rashes. So I don't remember if you can, I'll show the photo, but my skin was like filled with rashes. Like I didn't put them on there, I just woke up, and whenever I use anything on my face, my skin just broke out in rashes like hives, because I was just the poor skin was just too much things was happening to my poor skin, my poor baby. it was just damage. My poor skin, all because I wanted what? I want to glow from within. I want to glow from within. I wanted to glow. I wanted to have clean, smooth skin. I wanted my skin to be even. I don't want hyperpigmentation. I was just doing too much to the poor skin. And because I was just doing a lot, and my skin wasn't like, I didn't see improvement in my skin. The bumps, the acne and so forth, they weren't really there, but there were just some bumps because of rashes and so forth. And whenever I saw the rashes, I would just dig into it. I'm like, okay, let me just dig into it so that I can get rid of that. Like after, you know, I didn't want to see the bumps on the surface, because if I can put the bumps, if I can get rid of the bumps and so forth, so it's not like high, then I could put foundation on it and it can look smooth, and I would always do that. But whenever I took off my makeup and washed my face, I was always sad. I'm like, why is my skin looking like this? But then I was like, you know what, this is just my skin. I just have to embrace it and just move along. And I was wearing makeup over it. And then when it was time to repurchase the glycolic acid toner, now I'm like, I'm not gonna repurchase this, plus it's expensive anyway, so let me just find something else that's cheaper. And that was when I found the glycolic, the ordinary glycolic acid. Alright, so, and this is me today. I mean, my skin is not perfect. My skin is far from perfect. I have hyperpigmentation. I still have hyperpigmentation. But guess what? I'm embracing. This is me. I'm a black woman. I'm a woman of color. I'm embracing the fact that I might have hyperpigmentation. You know what I'm saying? But it's fine. It's okay. I don't need to destroy everything. I don't need to destroy my melanin. Yeah, I was saying to myself, like, I don't need to be destroying the melanin just because I want even skin tone. I don't want to be destroying my melanin because I want even skin tone. If I can do it in a way that is going to allow my skin to be healthy, no problem, because I don't want hyperpigmentation. So when I found all of these ingredients from The Ordinary, when I was using it, I'm telling you, me, YouTube, no. I researched. I had a book and I wrote down every single thing that I was about to use. I was researching everything. If I wanted something to brighten my skin, I was researching. If this is going to brighten my skin, what are the side effects? Like, is it safe? Like, stuff like that. I was researching the products, the ingredients. I was researching what would go with what would mix with what, because I was not about to go on the internet and to hear some random girl talking about, oh, this worked for me and it can work for you too, because yeah, and then I'm going to buy it and then damage my skin because I didn't get proper information. I did my own research before I actually use the product, and this is what I want each and every person that comes here to watch a video and to hear about my experience. Do your own research. Like, knowledge makes you wiser. Yeah, and even the Bible says it, my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. If you want information, you go and seek it. All right, the doctor that he was like, maybe he's like qualified like as a professional, he's an expert in his field, but he had to study. So yes guys, my skin was on its worst behavior. So my skin was a mess, and it was mostly or mainly because, one, I was wearing SPF, I was destroying my moisture barrier, and I was too impatient. And this is why my skin turned out how it looked like a hot mess. And then I was overdoing it with the makeup, you know what I'm saying? And I went ahead and I found The Ordinary. I found various ingredients, I found various stuff that I could use. And you know what I did? I researched. I did my own research. Yeah, so I went ahead and I researched. I didn't go on YouTube, watch a YouTube video and hear a girl say, oh, this worked for me and whatever. I researched the products. I tried to identify my own skin type so that I could know what were my real problems and so forth. Then I researched the ingredients that I needed to help me, and I also made sure that I got my sunscreen and I dealt with that part, because if I continued, I don't know where I would be. Maybe I would look like a burnt up potato. Yeah, like seriously. But yeah, my skin is, I still have hyperpigmentation. I'm still on a journey, and not, I wouldn't say a journey, it's just a part of my life. But I am not going to go, I'm not on the hunt anymore to find anything that will kill or destroy my melanin. I love my melanin, and I don't want anything to just kill it and to attack it. You know what I'm saying? I want something that's going to, you know, be gentle with my melanin. Just talk to it a little bit and, you know, see what it can do to negotiate, and to see how it cannot be so prominent, especially around my mouth, and to see how it can reduce without being too aggressive. So I want an ingredient that is going to speak to my melanin that way, in a gentle way. I don't want anything that's going to speak to my melanin in an aggressive way. Okay, I want something to just speak to it gently and say, okay, sir, please, to, you know, Jody doesn't really need you that much, especially around her mouth, so can you please to just decrease your presence? Yes, I don't want anybody, I don't want something that's going to argue with my melanin and to start cursing my melanin instantly, because when you start cursing my melanin, then my melanin is going to start acting up. Yeah, it's going to start acting up. So this is what I have found. I love alpha arbutin. It's slow, but it's steady. I love the ordinary products. They work. You just have to do your own research and see what works for you. And then when you research, then you can go on the internet, find people with experience, and see if they have similar skin type and so forth, similar problems. Then you can say, okay, maybe we have similar skin type, maybe I can do what she do to see how best it can work for me, and so forth. And this will ensure that you get the best results from the products and so forth. So this is what I have to say about the products that work for me and what didn't work for me. Now the moral of the story is: 1, wear a sunscreen. 2, don't over exfoliate. 3, don't pack your face with a bunch of makeup. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the last one is to be patient. Okay? So those are the morals of my story. Okay? Yes. Just especially the patience. You need to have patience. Stop over exfoliating. Stop buying a million products to tackle your problems because you want to tackle your problems now, because chances are your problems are not going to be solved in a month. They're not going to be solved in a month. Okay? Yeah. But this is basically it for me. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. And yeah, pretty much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.